ladies, so you've got reoccurring thrush, vaginal thrush, and you want to treat it naturally because you're tired of using Canesten and pessaries and pharmaceutical brands all the time. Reoccurring thrush is when you get it apparently more than 3 or 4 times in 1 year. Actually, that sounds like a lot, right? So anyways, I think that's what reoccurring thrush is. So here's just a quick disclaimer before we jump into how I treated my recurring vaginal thrush during pregnancy, although I've had it prior to my pregnancy. So it just kept coming back. I got pregnant and it still was coming back. Disclaimer, I am just a girl on the internet. Although I do thorough research and I do spend hours on end, researching. Do not take my advice, please. I am here just sharing with you my experience and then what, oh my God, this sounds terrible, how I self-diagnosed myself, even though I'm telling you not to do it. But yeah, I'm just a girl on the internet. Take what I have to say, maybe take it to your doctor. They're probably gonna hate me. They're gonna be like, oh my God, he's like another girl self-diagnosed on YouTube. Yeah, I mean, there could be something, a health issue that's so much more serious, that's underlying a reason why you're getting this recurring vaginal thrush, something like perhaps the onset of diabetes. So again, just hear me out if you're interested. I know I was going through YouTube looking for all sorts of information and then concluded on my own treatment plan. Oh, maybe I shouldn't share this because it's, I don't know. How awkward is this? All right, end of story. You know what I'm trying to say. Here is how I treated my recurring vaginal thrush. Because I am pregnant, when I kept getting recurring thrush, I couldn't use things like boric acid pessaries that I was hearing everybody on YouTube use. There were some natural herbs that I wasn't suggested for me to use. Paldaco or something. I'll put it on the screen. So I ended up with getting herbs of gold. So I got this at GoVita. You can probably get it online. I used this one that I got from Chemist Warehouse, Lifespace. What I did was I used it both as a pessary and orally. What I did was I put one of this in the morning into my vagina. So as a pessary, using an applicator, so 1 tablet into the applicator, insert it. One of this into the applicator, insert it in the morning. And then I took one of this and one of this orally in the morning. And then at night, repeat. So one of this in the pessary applicator, insert into the vagina. One of these into the applicator, and then insert it into the vagina. And then one and one orally. Now, I really wanted to run this double treatment for 2 weeks. I only managed to get through like a week and a half when I stopped doing the pessary method and only was taking it orally. And I can't remember why. I think it was because I was going away or had other commitments that meant that I couldn't commit. So that's what I did. Once I stopped using the applicator, or once I stopped using it as a pessary treatment, I was still taking 2 in the morning, 2 in the morning combined, and then 2 and 2 orally at night. So sorry, I should have said I was taking them orally, 2 and 2 in the morning, 2 and 2 at night. Now, once I ran out of this one, because GoVita they were out of stock of this Herbs of Gold, they did have this one. So I took the stronger strength of this Bioceuticals SB Flora Active 500. So they do have a bigger bottle that is less concentrated, but see this number here? This means that this one tablet is a little bit more concentrated than the other version available. So, and then again, I was still taking them orally, not vaginally anymore. Once I finished, I went on to a maintenance sort of treatment for myself, and I combined it with, sorry, I did an ugly like unpacking of this bottle, and so you can't tell what it is. Oh, Urogen probiotic. Yes. Okay, so obviously you can tell this one's the microflora probiotic. This one would have said Urogen. So how I know is Urogen. Okay. During that time, what I was taking probably 1 and 1 in the morning orally, and then 1 and 1 again at night. Now I am only taking 1 and 1 at night with some of my pregnancy vitamins and stuff like that. During that 5-6 week treatment, I abstained from sex, which really sucked. And then what else I did was bought, like, I not bought, but as in like I had panty liners everywhere I went. And I would just constantly change them as soon as I was uncomfortable. I would avoid wearing leggings and really tight jeans and things for that period of time. And the other thing I did was I used Sudocrem to put on my vulva areas, which I felt were quite like raw or sore. Now, yeah, I didn't have so much the itch. It was more just like it feeling quite raw. But when you put the Sudocrem on and you only need very little onto the area, whether that's with a cotton pad or with clean fingers, you will feel like a tinging sensation or a little bit of like a heat sensation. For me, I didn't panic because I love using Sudocrem on my kids when they were younger, when they had like nappy rash, or you know, even before I got to that point where they had a nappy rash, which anyways, I used Sudocrem for myself instead of buying the like pharmacy, like, you know, relieving type creams. I used Sudocrem. That's what I did. That's the treatment. So when I was doing it orally, again, it was just a really slow reduction of intake. So you know how I was taking 4 tablets of each a day, and then slowly 2 of each a day. So yeah, I just slowly decreased the amount of tablets I was taking. But I was really consistent, and I was really determined. So that's why, I mean, they're not cheap, especially when you're taking, like, I mean, this has 60. Oh, well, this has 60. I know this one only has 30. They're not cheap when you're using it in that sort of numbers. It worked for me. So I'm glad I was happy to spend on good quality probiotics. Something to note during this treatment that's going to maybe scare you a little bit is that at times you might find that the pill, like one of the tablets, actually, or two, or it actually might come out still whole. Okay, so when we insert these into our vagina, obviously we're relying on the heat and the body to break out the capsule and then dissolve it, and then the vagina will use it accordingly. Or not use it, but you know what I mean, like this will do its thing in there once it's broken out of its capsule. But more often than not, one of these tablets will come out either half used, still formed but soft. I found that with the Canesten, pharmaceutical Canesten pessary, sometimes like the whole tablet would like, or half the tablet would come out quite soft and mushy, but it was still formed. So I wasn't surprised when I saw one of these tablets discharge out of your vagina still sort of whole. Didn't happen a whole lot, but it does happen, so just be mindful. This brings me on to the next thing, which is, how did I even know that this worked for me? To be honest, I didn't know it was working. I didn't have a clue that it was working even after a week and a half, or I was still getting discharged, whether it was from the thrush, from the treatment, from the pill, I'm not sure. I was still getting discharged. The only thing that probably made me think that it was working is that I applied less of the Sudocrem over time. And even when I stopped using the Sudocrem, it was still a little bit raw. But I felt like that was probably one of the first signs of it being less raw feeling on the vulva, was my sign that it was potentially working. Honestly, it didn't really click until about 4 weeks is when I was like, oh, this is actually working. Even though I've stopped doing it vaginally and I'm only taking it orally, it's actually working. So I kept it going. And at about the 5-week mark, that was when I had sex for the first time after abstaining during this treatment or course of treatment. And the liquids of my body were different after this intercourse session. So I then noticed, my liquids look more normal, like they would normally look as compared to when I had sex and I had thrush. Some of the liquids, mucus, discharge, whatever you want to call it, was a little bit like clumpy. And so I was like, oh, that doesn't look right, but maybe that's okay. But yeah, it wasn't okay. That was my thrush discharge look. Before I move on, if you are finding this video helpful, oh gosh, do help me and my channel out by giving the video a thumbs up. It really helps me, and the algorithm of my channel helps other women find this video and decide for themselves whether they want to treat their recurring vaginal thrush. Also, if you think I'll be helpful, useful, click that subscribe button and the bell so you get notified when I post a new video. For those who are going to stick around and hear about how and why I happen to get recurring thrush and whether this could help solve sort of why you got it as well, keep on watching. Straight to the point, figured out that it wasn't leggings, it wasn't my laundry detergent, it wasn't my panty liners, it wasn't me having sex, it wasn't me using sex toys, it wasn't my diet, it wasn't my pregnancy that caused the recurring thrush. What caused it, I deeply believe, not scientifically proven, but deeply intuitively believe, is that I had a LETS procedure done about a year and a bit ago, or maybe now about 2 years ago now, and that is an operation on the cervix. So during the operation, I presume they would have tried to sterilize the area, or I don't know, done stuff in that area to operate on the cervix. And during that operation, although all successful, thank you, it could have disrupted the vaginal flora, environment, whatever. That's why I reckon every time I had sex or something like that, or like had my period, it just, the flora in my vagina just never got to rebalance itself. And so it was like hit with like periods, tampons, menstrual cups, other things, other penetration. And it just never got a chance to stabilize itself or stabilize the environment or the flora or whatever. And that's why I was getting recurring thrush. Now, the reason why I went after a bit of research with this particular one, Women's Microflora Probiotic, is because it has this particular, and I'm not going to try and pronounce it, zoom in, it's going to put it on the screen. So it was just a particular strain that this particular probiotic had that most of the others didn't have. Sort of cross paths with some of the ones in here. The great thing about the Herbs of Gold is it actually has, so see this letter here, SB, probiotic and SB. What I was predominantly looking for was SB, but it had all these other ones in it. So yeah, anyways, it had other like vaginally beneficial probiotics in it, and then the SB at the bottom. This one only has the SB strain in it. But remember, by the time I was taking this, I was already like orally taking this, which has all those other vaginally beneficial bacterias. So yeah, anyways, that's why I still keep going back for this one, because it has that particular crispus and and the RC14 and whatever I found throughout my research. I am still going with this particular one, but I remember that SB was the other one that I was recommended or looking for, that is quite good for the vagina and thrush, I think, or just good vaginal health. Okay, so I'm going to wrap it up because I can honestly sit here and talk ages about it. But if you have any questions, or you want to share your experience, or you want to get in touch personally, then do so personally on Instagram. But if you do, or you have anything helpful, or you have any resources that will be helpful for other girls, other women here, please do leave it in the comments below so that we can all benefit from it as well. Like I said, I am just a girl on the internet. As much as I would love to help you, I don't want to be responsible and like be the one that causes you more pain than good. So if you, not if you, no, do go and see your health physician, or what do they say, your doctor or your healthcare person, or you know what I mean. Do go and consult them first before you do these things. I think that's responsible. All right, girls, take care of yourself. Again, if you found this video helpful, please help me out and my channel out by clicking the thumbs up, share it with a girl, make a comment, leave a comment below. Do hit that subscribe button. I'd love to have you alongside my next videos. Vibe with me, resonate with me. And yeah, till then, bye.